4 unbelievable facts about the CIA. The Central Intelligence Agency is a multi-billion-dollar American organization made up of some of the most brilliant minds in espionage. Shrouded with utmost secrecy, the CIA's sole function is to protect the interests of the United States, and they do so well by using any means deemed necessary. The Langley, Virginia-based government agency has also been notoriously known for its stealthy operations conducted all over the world. There's hardly any government or country that could drive these agents away when they come knocking on doors searching for precious intel. Over the years, though, some of the CIA's well-kept secrets have seeped through the cracks, which gives us a closer glimpse on its dark and shadowy clandestine works. Let's take a look at them. Number 4. The capture of bin Laden. The infamous raid that killed Osama bin Laden in May 2011 was the result of an extensive intelligence operation led by the CIA, where it lasted for several months. Extensive in such a way that the intelligence gathering effort, which also credited the assistance of other U.S. agencies such as the National Security Agency, NSA, and U.S. Defense Department, had to be brought to Congress in December 2010 for them to secure tens of millions of dollars as funding for the operation. Quite expensive, you might say, and this was because aside from the routine stakeout, the CIA utilized some of the most unconventional methods to verify bin Laden's presence in Pakistan, one of which was conducting a civic work program. You see, after a courier was tracked leading to a compound in Abbottabad, the team could only suspect that this is where the Al-Qaeda founder was hiding. To establish evidence, the CIA conducted a fake polio vaccination program in the entire town. They were able to collect thousands of blood samples from children in the area, and among them, belonging to bin Laden's own children. With proof at hand that bin Laden was indeed in the area, the U.S. Navy SEALs proceeded to carry out the raid. Number 3. Operation Chaos. The nationwide protest held against the U.S. government for its involvement in the Vietnam War during the mid-1960s proved to be a giant thorn in its side. In hopes to quell such efforts, the CIA launched what was called Operation Mockingbird, which basically used the mainstream media to spread negative propaganda on communism. It turned out that the counterculture couldn't be easily persuaded, let alone brainwashed. With the agency ever mindful of the KGB's tendency to also use dirty tricks, the CIA opted to launch yet another operation. This time, the goal was to weed out any foreign influence backing the American anti-war movement. It was called Operation Chaos. The codename says it all. It basically authorized the agency to spy on the very people it swore to protect. Initially, CIA agents were tasked to infiltrate anti-war organizations, which were mainly made up of student bodies. Some of the famous groups targeted by the operation were the Students for a Democratic Society, as well as the Black Panthers. Eventually, the extent of the espionage program expanded to even include women's rights and Jewish groups. At its conclusion, Operation Chaos managed to incur files on hundreds of thousands of Americans, including several progressive groups. Number 2. Operation Mongoose. This CIA operation had largely to do with Washington's pure intent on taking down Cuba's Fidel Castro and his communist regime. Apparently, Castro's government was a threat to the peace in the United States. Under the Kennedy administration, the secret program codenamed Operation Mongoose was given the green light to basically assassinate Castro. For this, the CIA proposed and carried out some of the craziest methods, like slipping a bomb into one of Castro's cigars, planting exploding seashells at his favorite diving spot, and infecting his scuba gear with tuberculosis, just to mention a few. Castro's own people also revealed hundreds more of the CIA's schemes to end the despot's life, which, according to them, have all ended in failure. Castro remains Cuba's dictator for 49 years, and it could have continued even longer had it not been for his failing health, and eventually his death of old age in 2016. And number 1. Operation Midnight Climax. Like the infamous Japanese Unit 731, although somewhat in a lesser degree, the CIA also has its own share of conducting atrocious human experiments. One of the most ill-reputed was Operation Midnight Climax. The basic premise of the program was for the agency to experiment on the potential use of certain drugs like LSD, heroin, and sodium pentothal, otherwise known as truth serum in mind control. This proposition surfaced after the US got wind of such activities being done by the communists, particularly the former Soviet Russia, on American prisoners of war. At home, the CIA employed the services of prostitutes to lure unsuspecting men into the so-called safe houses in San Francisco. It was here that the supposed lab rats were being administered with the different drug substances. This was done without their consent. The experiment was headed by a certain Dr. George Hunter White, a narcotics officer who once had a stint of training American soldiers to become spies during World War II. White's team would then observe the drugged men have sex with the prostitutes through two-way mirrors. Everything that took place was put in tape for further clinical observations. According to tell-all accounts, some human subjects were made to undergo a horrific ordeal of being given LSD for 77 days straight. Later, investigations revealed that at least one subject died due to apparent drug overdose. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.